What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a tour of a different fish shop that I haven't yet taken you guys to. Now, this fish shop is specifically geared towards people who enjoy the aquascaping hobby. But this store has so many different types of hardscape materials to choose from, tons and tons of different types of plants. And while we're there, I'm going to go ahead and pick out some fish and shrimp for my Iwagumi setup. So stick around because it's going to be a fun video. So lucky for me, I live in the San Diego area, and so there are quite a few different fish shops in my location, and this one by far is my favorite for aquascaping type stuff, and you'll see what I mean by that when we get there. So right away when you walk in, you're greeted by tons of cool display tanks, but first I wanted to show you their little dojo area setup where you can play around with different hardscape. But as you can see, so many cool different tanks that they have set up on display, and some of them you can even purchase if you'd like. But yeah, so many cool things to look at. These two displays right here were by far my favorite. They're just so cool, kind of terrarium style. Kind of want to make one now. Also, here's another pretty cool display tank. They had some really cool fish in this one. I don't know what they are, but if anyone knows in the comments, if you could please let me know. This tank was also pretty cool. It had some plants growing immersed, and I liked that, and also some super happy boosts in here. But you guys should let me know in the comments which of these display tanks was your favorite. Also really liked this one and the way the wood was all coming out of the water, and they had a pretty cool variety of nano fish in this tank as well. But I did want to also show you guys all the different plants that they keep here, and I will say that I won't be able to name most of them for you, but I will just say they have a great selection and so many different stem plants and carpeting plants that you can choose from. I don't know why I just did carpeting when I was showing you stem plants, but anyways, yeah. Tons of cool stem plants in here. They also have a pretty great selection of tissue culture plants, so if you prefer to use these as opposed to like stem plants and potted plants, then maybe you might want to check out this shop. I also noticed when I was walking around that they have tons of different hardscape materials to choose from, so that is pretty nice when you're unsure of what you want to do in your new setup, and you can just come and look at stuff and kind of get inspired. I also saw these really cool fish. Obviously they wouldn't work for the 5-gallon, but who knows, maybe a future tank I might get these. They're pretty cool, I think, anyway. And then I saw these rasbora, I forget the name, and I was thinking maybe them or maybe some of these ember tetras. These guys were pretty cool, cute little things, but I decided to go with these emerald rasboras. If my camera will focus, yeah, there you go, you can see them a little bit better. So next they just had to get bagged, and I will say that this guy was super good at catching them. You'll kind of see here in a second, he kind of like swishes them into the corner, and he has way more patience than I do, because I mean, look at that tiny little net, and then he just like swoops them. Crazy. Now that these guys were done getting bagged, it was time to go over and look at the shrimp, and I had already kind of been eyeing them earlier. The top row is the neos, and then down below you can see all the caridina type shrimp. I'm going to be getting the neos just because they are more hardy and easier to care for in this tank, but I was having a hard time choosing between the yellow and the blue, and also was getting distracted by all the Caridina shrimp because look at that white one. That's so crazy. I don't think I've even seen one all white like that before. But anyways, I did end up deciding to go with the Blue Dream. And I got 5 of these shrimp. I didn't mention this earlier, but I also got 5 of the Emerald Rasboras, and I thought that would be a pretty good amount of fish to stock in this specific tank just because it's a 5-gallon nano, so don't want to put too much in this tank. Here's a little close-up of the shrimp so that way you guys can get a better view. And with all of the fish and shrimp bagged up, it was time to go home and acclimate everything. I nearly overflowed my tank with this second bag. Yeah, probably should have lowered the water maybe just a little bit, but here's a closer view of them inside the bags. Typically, I like to let them get temp acclimated for like maybe 30 or 40-ish minutes, and every 10 or so minutes I'll go and I'll add just a little bit of water. And every 10 minutes I will then double the amount of water that I added the first time. And you don't have to use this same method. This is just what I found that works for me over the past couple years or so. Side note, while I was there, the guy that was helping me, he was telling me about this super cool plant that has recently been introduced into the aquascaping community, and it's called Achiotis acuminilifolio. I know I butchered that. But anyways, he was nice enough to give me a little trimming. And by the time I was done planting it, it was time to add in my shrimp and my fish. I will say that the fish are definitely a little bit more on the timid side, but I'm sure the longer that they have a chance to get comfortable in here, then the likelier they are to get more confidence. Alright guys, that brings us to the end of this video, and I'll make sure to insert some clips of the fish at the very end of this so that way you can see them a little bit better once they have settled into their tank a little bit more. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.